2020 shook the world. Coronavirus, mask mode, self-isolation. These words have appeared in our everyday life. We were locked down for a long time and learned to appreciate every ray of sun, breath of fresh air, and infrequent walks around the house. Now the situation has improved a little, but the borders between the countries are mostly still closed. It's time to get to know your home country better. This is what we did. In the new season of the travel show Across the Kazakh Land, we will travel with you as hosts. My name is Agzia Segizbaeva. And I am Adlet Maken. We will tell you about all the most amazing places in Northern and Western Kazakhstan. You will see how beautiful and diverse the landscape of our country is, what talented people live in Kazakhstan, how many unexplored corners you have to discover. Well, let's go. When I found out that the first day of shooting will be in the capital, I thought, what is the most important building for me in Nur-Sultan from the point of view of our statehood? Of course, the monument Kazakh Joly. We went there with a film crew. The stele is located between the Millennium Park and the Presidential Park. If you did not know in what year the Republic of Kazakhstan gained its independence, then you can come to the capital of the Republic, the city of Nur-Sultan, and having visited Independence Square, measure the length of the Kazakh Joly monument located on it. Better take my word. The length of the Kazakh Joly monument is 91 meters, since the Republic of Kazakhstan gained its independence in 1991. It was a great time. I was 1 year old then. I don't remember much. But our guide to the world of domestic tourism, Galia, saw how the monument appeared on an empty space, and one of the first began to attract tourists here. It is located on a small hill and is perfectly visible from all sides. A lot of tourists, foreigners, come to this place and ask what this stele symbolizes. The monument is made from white marble. This symbolizes the goodwill, sincerity and friendliness of the Kazakh people. The Samruk bird located at the top of the monument protects the peace of the country. In addition, Samruk in Kazakh mythology is a symbol of justice. The image of Samruk has many interpretations. There is an opinion that the bird is the patron saint of individual tribes and clans. In other sources, Samruk appears as a bird of happiness and justice. According to another version, this creature is a god on the border of our and the other worlds. This diversity of Samruk became the central idea of the monument. Each structural element is here for a reason. Everything is thought out and has a deep meaning. On four sides of it, there are four bas-reliefs. One of them is our first president. The second is devoted to independence. The third is the future of Kazakhstan, that is youth. And the fourth is the courage that combines the courage of the nomadic warriors and our modern defenders of the fatherland. One more composition is called the Unity of the Peoples of Kazakhstan, where different peoples who live in Kazakhstan are represented. But it turns out that people have different associations with the capital based on the type of their activities. The candidate of historical sciences told us which structure is significant for him in Nur-Sultan.
Если говорить именно с точки зрения истории, то важно отметить, что для каждой столицы присущи свои атрибуты.
Speaking from the point of view of history, it is important to note that each capital has its own attributes. In our capital, this is the state flag of the Republic of Kazakhstan, located on the territory of the Atameken Ethno-Memorial Complex. It opened in 2009. It occupies 450 square meters, which put it in the 9th place in the world. The main flag of the country is located in the capital.
Там, где находится самый главный флаг страны, там и находится столица.
The main mosque of the capital, Hazrat Sultan, is located near the monument. There was a long way ahead. I decided to ask God for a blessing in the mosque. The Hazrat Sultan Mosque, the construction of which began in 2009, opened its doors to all Muslims in 2012. However, it wasn't all that simple. In January 2012, there was a big fire in the same mosque. It's okay now, which of course makes me very happy. The grandiose construction of the mosque involved from 1,000 to 1,500 people in different periods. The architecture of the mosque is designed in the classical Islamic style using traditional Kazakh ornaments. The first president of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Abishevich Nazarbayev, explained the idea of the name of the mosque Hazrat Sultan. The mausoleum of our wise ancestor Ahmed Yasawi in Turkestan is called Hazrat Sultan. Therefore, it was decided to name the mosque in the capital by the same name, with the thought that we too should have our own Hazrat Sultan. Hazrat Sultan has the largest dome in Kazakhstan, 51 meters high and more than 28 meters in diameter at the base of the dome. The temple is crowned with an 80-meter spire with a crescent directed strictly towards Mecca. What a scale! Well, it's time to see what's inside, but there is one thing. It should be noted that one cannot enter the mosque in such clothes. There are certain rules that must be followed. So let's get started with the rules together. Now we are ready. Women should hide their entire body except for the face, hands and feet. Hair should be completely hidden under the scarf. It is undesirable for men to be in shorts or in trousers that are too tight. The color of the clothes should not be defiantly bright and the silhouette should not be tight. The rules are quite simple and it will not be difficult to follow them. Now you can enter. Now we are in the largest hall of the Hazrat Sultan Mosque. In general, the mosque has many features. The walls of this large hall are painted with the names of 24 prophets, magnificently. What can you do in a mosque? Many things. Here you can enter into a Muslim marriage and perform ablution, read the Quran and study in groups for the study of religion. In short, this large building meets all modern requirements. We received a blessing from the Imam of the mosque and went on to explore the capital. And at this time, Adlet is already conquering the vastness of the Atara region. Let's see how he copes. I am doing great! Cool location and interesting content. We are now in the Akjayek State Natural Reserve. It is located in Makambet district of Atara region and the city of Atara. The reserve was created in 2009, but since 2014 it has been protected by UNESCO. But it seems, besides UNESCO, the reserve is guarded by someone else. The reserve is an ideal place for birds. There are 292 bird species flying here. Just imagine! Among them, 36 winter species and 110 nesting bird species. It looks like a bird paradise. We enjoyed the views of the reserve from above, and now we are going to look at the birds living in the reeds. We will drive up to them by a motorboat. But for this, you need to prepare. It's the time to take a photo. Repeat the photo, post it with the hashtag across the Kazakh Land. The owners of the most successful shots will receive awesome prizes. The reserve is inhabited by such rare species as glossy ibis, spoonbill, little egret, Egyptian heron and gallinule. During the migration period, thousands of flamingos, Dalmatian pelicans, black-headed gulls and swans stop here. Local ornithologist Ilya explained to us why birds choose a reserve for wintering or nesting. Here they find a good shelter in the form of reed thickets and a good source for obtaining food. They can easily find fish here. According to Iranian scientists, the water level in the Caspian Sea decreased by 13 centimeters in 2019. Now the average sea depth is just over 27 meters. This is the lowest level over the last 30 years. The whole problem lies in reducing the flow of water from the Volga. The river provides 80% of the water to the Caspian. The lowering of the water level affected the birds in the reserve. Due to the decrease in the level of the Caspian Sea, the habitat is reduced too. They need water. They are the curly pelican and pink pelican. We have them just during the nesting period. We have a place called Masobay Kultuk, so they have a nesting there. Previously, when the water level was higher, about 120-150 breeding pairs resided there. The number dropped to 30-40 nests.
Побольше. Там около 120-150 гнездящихся пар можно было наблюдать. В последние года они снизились, допустим, до 30-40.
Nowadays, ecological tourism is rather poorly developed in the reserve. It's a pity. After all, conditions were already created for tourism here. In 2011, with the support of an Italian company and the University of Bologna, observation towers were built. It was from there that I watched birds with binoculars. Bicycle and hiking routes were developed. Boat trips along the Ural River and its channels were organized.
В области туризма у нас, конечно, идут изменения в лучшую сторону.
In the field of tourism, there are positive changes. We have more programs to introduce, on excursions, on visits. We can offer good transport. Major part of tourists come from abroad, Belarus, France and Italy.
У нас большинство в основном зарубежных туристов. Большинство.
In fact, we have a lot of foreign companies here. The local population also visits us, but most of them are foreigners.
Более иностранных компаний много, так что в основном местное тоже население часто посещает, но большинство иностранные компании.
The reserve management is planning to construct a visitor center and guest houses. The main advantage is that Atyrau, with all the necessary infrastructure, is very close. You can come for one day without an overnight stay. For example, fishermen do this. If you want to fish in the Akjaik Reserve, you need to buy a coupon for 720 tenge or $1.75 per one day. At the same time, you will be allowed to take no more than 5 kilograms of fish with you. On the territory of the reserve, such service appeared only in 2019. Now it even hosts sports competitions for passionate fishing enthusiasts. We had no time to fish, but we really wanted to see the Atyrau fish fauna, so we went to the local sturgeon farm. First of all, at the farm, we were taken to a place where large sturgeon species live. The fish is rather big. I was even a little scared that it would bite someone, but nothing happened. We brought the fish to the room to do an ultrasound. I felt like in a gynecologist's office and as if I'm expecting a baby.
Так, это у нас русский осетр. Русский осетр. Вот она тоже, видите?
This is our Russian sturgeon.
Мелкая. Это вторая.
You see, these eggs are small. This is the second stage. Eggs are developing. How many stages are there in total? 4 stages. The farm features all types of sturgeon: beluga, stellate sturgeon, Russian sturgeon, stellate, and spiny sturgeon. Each species reaches maturity in its own time. Beluga at 18 years old, stellate sturgeon at 7 years old, and Russian sturgeon at 12 years old. It is curious that during the extraction of eggs for breeding offspring, no fish was harmed.
Прижизненно получаем осетровых, то есть мы не умерщвляем рыбу.
We get sturgeons in lifetime. That is, we do not kill fish. We just make an incision in the inner oviduct. The caviar itself flows out of the abdomen. It turns out that we just massage her abdomen and thus get caviar in a lively good form.
Путем этого массирования мы получаем икру в живом, в хорошем виде.
It is said that one fish can have up to several million eggs. Now we will try to feed the sturgeons. Now we will give some food for sturgeon. I have never fed fish in my life. I fed dogs, cats in the yard. How much shall I give them? Come on. Well, everyone, bon appetit. Enjoy your meal. Cool. We did a good thing. Fed the fish. It's so nice at heart. The mission of the farm is also noble. Staff works to preserve the sturgeon gene pool, for which the Caspian has been famous for a long time, and to increase their number. We increase the number of pure species and release them into the river. Then it goes to the sea. It is grown there to its mature stage, then it rises into the river. We fish in the river, get eggs from fish and release them all back. Last year, a lot of fish were lost due to an environmental disaster at the fish farms of Atrau. The problem was that the farm used water from the river. Now work has begun on the installation of a closed water supply.
Я бы сказала, в этом году очень хорошая ситуация.
This year we have a very good situation. I liked it. There were a lot of sturgeon fish. This year we had a beluga in total 148 kilograms. And we got 22 kilograms of caviar from
У нас
it.
была в этом году 148 килограмм, мы от нее получили 22 килограмма икры. Выпустили от нее детишек.
We released 560,000 young fish to grow in the sea.
Она уже скатилась, она уже в море, она уже растет.
We wish all environmental problems to be overcome and the sturgeon to feel comfortable and free. It's time for us to watch the next location, and we are returning to Aksa. I am with you again. We decided not to go far, especially we found a great location within walking distance from us. For about 5 years, the National Museum welcomes residents and guests of the city. The museum is one of the youngest and at the same time the largest museum in Central Asia. If you are a foreigner who came to Kazakhstan for the first time and want to get to know the country better, you just need to visit the museum. Here you will find the most complete picture of what happened on the territory of Kazakhstan from the Paleolithic era to the period of construction of the capital. And of course, the most valuable finds of archaeologists are kept here as well. For example, the Golden Man from the Jibek Mound. I was always interested in the question of why artifacts are not left in museums in the area where they were found. Aybar gave an answer to it. All exhibits representing the history of Kazakhstan are collected here. Since guests, first of all, go to the capital. We try to present all the unique exhibits found on the territory of Kazakhstan in our National Museum. However, we must not forget about the regional museums. If possible, we try to exhibit reconstructions there as well. In a word, the reconstruction of the Jibek Mound's Golden Man is, first of all, the property of the country. Therefore, its place is only in the National Museum. The museum has a huge number of halls where you can get lost. So that you do not waste a lot of time and see most important exhibits, I advise you to look into the archaeological and historical hall. In the first one, you will see the original statue of the Tobolsk thinker. The figure suggests that people were preoccupied with philosophical issues already 3,000 years ago. Amazing!
Ең алдымен еліміздің мақтанышы, сондықтан да ұлттық музейде оның тұруы заңдылық.
And in the historical hall, you can look at the chapans of real historical figures, Abelai Khan and Kazibek B. Aybar also recommends not to miss the unique exposition.
Сонымен қатар биыл міне 175 жылдығын тойлап отырған Абай Құнанбайұлының өзінің қолымен.
The historical hall keeps a vase which once belonged to Abay Kunanbayev. This year we celebrate the 175th anniversary of Abay's birth. Of course, we have prepared a special exhibition for this great event.
Жәдігерлерде қойылған Абай портреті
There is a portrait of Abay. Here you can see the collection of Abay's works in Russian published in 1923 in Tashkent, Abay's manuscripts, a work published in Petersburg in 1909, and a copy of Qayim Muhammadkhanov's manuscript.
және Qayim Muhammadkhanovтың зерттеу жұмыстарының қолжазбасы.
The National Museum of the Republic of Kazakhstan is a unique building in Central Asia. It houses exhibits from ancient times. Despite the fact that these are historical things, they correspond to modern standards. Now let's look at exhibits together. For example, at the entrance we saw a golden eagle flapping its wings. Next to it is an interactive map showing the development of Kazakhstan. Information kiosks, interactive whiteboards and other gadgets make the museum truly convenient for the digital generation. In general, we really liked it. This is how modern museums should operate. That's all for today. In this program, we began to get to know the capital better, and our expedition across Atyrau region also started. I read the symbols of the stele and asked for blessings to travel in the main mosque of Nur Sultan, Hazrat Sultan, and also studied the history of Kazakhstan at the National Museum. And I made friends with the dogs in the Akjaik Reserve and watched the sturgeons at the Ural Atyrau fish farm. What a beautiful nature! Adlet is right. The nature in our country is amazing. In the following programs, we will show you more interesting places. Follow us on the hashtag across the Kazakh Land.